One of these things is not like the other. Vice President Kamala Harris before a packed stadium in Glendale, Arizona, over 20,000 people in attendance. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was in Montana before a much, much smaller crowd. Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Tim Walz, and a group of other incredible guests went on the offensive. Let me share with you this incredible moment where Vice President Kamala Harris says, "We are here because we love our country," and the crowd breaks out in a USA chant. Play the clip.
So Arizona, it all comes down to this. We are here because we love our country. We love our country. We love our country, and I do believe it is the highest form of patriotism to fight for the ideals of our country. That's how we preserve the promise of America.
As Vice President Kamala Harris is giving her speech, someone in the audience yells, "He won't win." And Vice President Kamala Harris responds, "He won't win. You're right. We will win. We're not falling for his tricks." Play the clip.
And on top of all of this, if Donald Trump wins in November, he intends to end the Affordable Care Act and take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was? Remember what that was? He won't win. You're right. We will win. We will win. We will win. And part of why we are going to win is because we remember, and we are smart, and we know what's happening, and we're not falling for the gaslighting, and we're not falling for the okey-doke.
By the way, just take a look at this crowd size. Another angle here. All of the reporters from Arizona saying this was like the biggest rally, political rally in recent Arizona history, bigger than any Trump rally, bigger than even former President Barack Obama. Here, Vice President Kamala Harris talks about how Donald Trump will surrender the fight against climate. Play this clip.
But when you look at it, when you read it, you will see Project 2025 is a plan to weaken the middle class. If he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give a tax break to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis. And Arizona, every day you feel the impact of extreme heat and drought. You know this crisis is real. He calls it a hoax.
Here was a very powerful moment where there was a protester in the crowd. Watch how Vice President Kamala Harris handled it. Play the clip.
Which includes respecting the voices that I think that we are hearing from. And let me just say this on topic of what I think I'm hearing over there. Let me just speak to that for a moment, and then I'm going to get back to the business at hand. So let me say, I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal done. Now is the time. And the president and I are working around the clock every day to get that ceasefire deal done and bring the hostages home. So I respect your voices, but we are here to now talk about this race in 2024.
And let me just share with you the moment where Vice President Kamala Harris took the stage. Play the clip.
Can we hear it for Tim Walz? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's good to be back in Arizona. Good evening, everyone.
Before she spoke, you had her VP pick, Governor Tim Walz, who brought the House down. Here he uses a line that I've used before at the MeidasTouch Network. Yeah, you may be preaching to the choir sometime, but that's a pro-democracy choir. That's a big choir, and that choir is loud. Play the clip.
Know that if he goes back again, he's not only going to let go where he left off, it is going to be much, much, much worse. So look, rising costs, pulling health care from us, you know the whole routine. Look, I get this too. I know I'm preaching to the choir, a damn big and beautiful choir. But practice is over, people. The choir needs to sing. The choir needs to sing.
One of the strongest lines in the speech by Governor Tim Walz is when he goes, "Mind your own damn business." Play the clip.
A hell out of him about it. Look, you and I, especially the gray hairs in the crowd, we know our relatives. Republicans used to be the people talking about freedom. Not this group. When they talk about freedom, it means that the government should be free to invade your exam room with your doctor. Look, in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and the personal choices they make. We maybe wouldn't make the same choices, but we respect them. And I know in Minnesota and in Arizona and places across this country, you know what makes society work best? Is when you learn a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. Mind your own damn business. You don't need it. I don't need you telling me what books to read. I don't need you telling me about what religion we worship. And I sure the heck don't need you to tell me about my family.
Hey, I'm Ben Meiselas, co-founder of the MeidasTouch Network. I just wanted to take a brief break from that last video to give you a climate change update. And I want to do it in the context of Vice President Kamala Harris's VP pick, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. We all know now Governor Walz was selected by Vice President Kamala Harris to be on her ticket. Over the course of his 2 terms in office, the New York Times recently wrote that Governor Tim Walz quietly emerged as one of the nation's most forceful advocates for tackling climate change. Back in St. Paul, Governor Walz had been increasingly focused on the threats posed by climate change to his state and had been enacting ambitious policies designed to slash the use of fossil fuels that are dangerously heating the planet. The New York Times even wrote that in 2023, Governor Walz signed a law requiring Minnesota to generate all of its electricity from wind, solar, and other carbon-free sources by 2040, eliminating the climate-warming pollution generated by coal and gas-fired power plants. That law came in the midst of a legislative session in which Minnesota Democrats, working with Governor Walz, pushed through nearly 40 other climate initiatives. In June, Governor Walz signed a law designed to speed the implementation of the 2040 Clean Power Mandate by streamlining the permitting of renewable electricity projects. So, wanted to give you that update on Governor Walz and his positions on climate change. Now, back to the video you were watching. Watch what happens when the crowd starts to yell, "Lock him up." Play the clip.
And let's be very clear. The statistics and the facts are clear about this. Violent crime was up under Donald Trump. And we don't even have to count his crimes in that to make it up. So, still. Look. Those. Better yet, beat the hell out of him at the ballot box. Beat the hell out of him at the ballot box.
Governor Walz also talking about the common good, kindness, generosity, integrity, moral character. Play the clip.
This idea about a common good, this idea about something bigger than ourselves, this idea of kindness, generosity, and compassion, that this building, which I have been told, by the way, might be the largest political gathering in the history of Arizona.
Governor Walz talks about how he was encouraged to get involved in politics. Play the clip.
Now if the Vikings could just win, that would be the Weaver. And look. That worked better near Green Bay, I'll tell you. So, look, it was my students. It was my students who encouraged me to run. They saw in me what I hope to instill in them, a commitment to a common good. The belief, the true belief that one person, one of us in here can make a difference in somebody's life.
Listen to the chants of USA from this very large crowd. Let's play it.
You love this democracy. I'll tell you what.
And here, one of my favorite lines when Governor Walz trolls Donald Trump about crowd sizes. Play the clip.
Hey. Yeah. Wow. Well, you might have seen a few people showed up in Philadelphia the other night. And then 10,000 plus walked into a field in western Wisconsin. And then on Wednesday, the largest crowd of the campaign showed up in Detroit, Michigan. But Arizona just couldn't leave it alone, could you? Wow. You know, It's not as if anybody cares about crowd sizes or anything. Wow.
Before Governor Walz, you had Democratic Senator Mark Kelly and his wife, Congresswoman Giffords. Take a look at Senator Kelly when he talks about the importance of service and contrasts that to Donald Trump calling those who served suckers and losers. Play the clip.
He served honorably in uniform for decades. And Tim has brought that experience to everything he has done since. Fighting for our service members, fighting for veterans, and fighting for military families. Now, that's not something I expect that Donald Trump would understand. Donald Trump calls those who served suckers and losers. And he has zero respect for any of us who have worn the uniform. Folks, here in Arizona, we don't attack people for their service to our country. What do? We thank them.
Here's Congresswoman Giffords. Play the clip.
My wife, the woman who inspires me each and every day and teaches me to never give up. Gabby Giffords.
Our lives can change so quickly. Mine did when I was shot, but I never gave up hope. I chose to make a new start, to move ahead, to not look back. I'm relearning so many things, how to walk, how to talk, and I'm fighting to make the country safer.
And here is Republican mayor of Mesa, Arizona, very conservative city in Arizona, one of the most conservative cities in the United States. This is Arizona Republican Mayor John Giles. Play this clip.
Thank you. Thank you. I am the very proud mayor of Mesa, Arizona, but thank you. Thank you. But I have to say, I feel maybe a little out of place today. Partly because we're in beautiful Glendale. Okay, there's that. But as you may know, I'm a lifelong Republican. All right? Now, thank you for your warm response. I have to tell you that I do not recognize my party. It has been the Republican Party has been taken over by extremists that are committed to forcing people in the center of the political spectrum out of the party. So I have something to say to those of us who are in the political middle. You don't owe a damn thing to that political party. In particular, you do not owe anything to a party that is out of touch and is hell-bent on taking our country backward. And by all means, you owe no displaced loyalty to a candidate that is morally and ethically bankrupt. So again, to all of us, I would say, in the spirit of the great Senator John McCain, please join me in putting country over party and stopping Donald Trump and protecting the rule of law, protecting our Constitution, and protecting the democracy of this great country. That is why I'm standing with Vice President Harris and Governor Walz.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you thought about that event. Incredible stuff. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Have a wonderful day.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.